How often do you miss the deadline for a task? And how often do you realize you have way too many tasks and you don't even know which one to begin with? By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to own your tasks instead of them owning you. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is Veselin Kostov, and for the last year I have been building my own agency, DeqVision. I have had my fair share of days with 20 plus tasks, so I've learned to manage them. And the way I do that is through using Asana. It's a work management tool that I have been using in my previous business, and I'm also using it right now. We're going to go over our exact process and the way our team uses it currently. Let's get into it. Now, when you do create a project on Asana, you have way more options here at the top. However, we try to be as lenient as we can, so we have only these options here. Now, the list is a mandatory one, but you can also have a board, you can have messages, you can have files, and you can also have a timeline, a Gantt, or a calendar as well. Now, the calendar is free, but I believe the timeline and the Gantt require a paid version of Asana. We're currently using the free version because it is pretty much more than enough. But the moment we grow as a business and as a team, then we're also going to be jumping into the paid version of Asana. Now, starting with the list here, you can have different kinds of sections, and we have added all the most important sections that we have for each of our clients. We create a new Asana project for each client. This is how usually marketing agencies operate inside of Asana, but I'm guessing that there are also other ways that you can do that. Now, before I go into the different sections, just to make sure we cover everything, first we have a status here, so you can put it as on track, at risk, off track, or on hold. You can also complete the project, but for marketing agencies, usually projects are not really completed. You do that month over month because there are more and more things that you need to do from a marketing perspective. You can also be sharing the project, you can have a team, and you can also be customizing it, although most of the customizations require the paid version. You can have different kinds of icons here, you can have a different kind of color, you can change the name of course, and you can also import, export, etc. You can play around with this. There are a lot of different options. So I'm going to jump into the more important stuff, which is the different kinds of tasks and sections that we have. So first of all, we have the section which is called to be escalated. Now, to create a section, you just simply come here and you click on add section. It's pretty easy, or you could also add a task. So under each section, let's say this one to be escalated, you can just click on it, expand it, and create a task. Once we create a task, we assign it to someone from the team, and then we also put a due date. We also have the priorities here, which are high, medium, and low. What we have set in our team, especially for escalations, is high would mean that it needs to be escalated in the next 24 hours. Medium would mean in the next 72 hours, so 3 days. And low would mean in the next week. As I said, we're keeping it as lenient as possible, but you can also add different kinds of fields if you're using the Asana starter pack. Now, after we have to be the escalated section, then we also have the content section. This is the content to do. And the most important tasks here, which are recurring usually, is the next weekly post for the clients. So we have an assignee and the due date. Usually the due date would be by Thursday, and then sending the content for approval would be on Friday. So by Thursdays we are ready with the content. On Friday we send it for approval. The client checks it, provides feedback. If we have to make any corrections, we do them. And then over the weekend we finalize everything. We write the copy for the posts, and then we schedule the content. Now, we could also be writing the copy before that when we are creating the weekly posts. It all depends on the agreement that we have with the client. If they trust us more than enough with creating the copy and just posting it without their review, then we just do it like this. So that's the usual tasks about content. Now we're also going to have other kinds of tasks, such as creating designs, which are out of the box and ad hoc, but these are tasks which happen out of the blue, and it's not like it's happening constantly. So that's pretty much it about the content. Then we have the ads section here. So we track our changes for Google Ads, for example. We make sure we optimize them every week and every few days based on our agenda that we have with the client and based on the amount of campaigns we have. And then we're also at the beginning creating the ads strategy for each client. there isn't one set process that we use for each client. Each client receives a personalized marketing solution. Then we go into the general to-do. Here we have things like reviewing competitors. That's always a very important thing to do, especially at the beginning. And you also need to continue doing it throughout period of working with the client. Then we also have to create a Go High Level account. Go High Level is one of the tools that we use. I'm probably going to do a separate video specifically for Go High Level. It's one of the best tools out there. If you're a marketing agency, it helps a lot. So you need to create the account and set it up to make sure that the client is integrated within it. And then in the general to-do, we could also be adding any kinds of other general tasks, as you might imagine, such as doing any changes on the website, such as any kind of issues that we have that need to be handled. We put them here and eventually we handle them. Then we have the meetings and report section. Here we're putting any kind of meeting notes and any kind of reports that we need to do. So for example, the weekly meeting notes inside of this task here. Each week we add the different kind of meeting notes that we have had based on our meetings. Then we prepare bi-weekly reports. Now this can always vary. Some clients want weekly reports, some clients want bi-weekly, and some other clients want monthly reports. So this is always different. And that's why we also have the prepare month over month report. So this would be just showing the difference month over month. And then we have the 3-month business review meeting. Usually our contracts are 3 months and 6 months. So what we do is when we're reaching the 3rd month, even if it's a 6-month contract, we still do a business review meeting, which is combining all the information that we have reviewed so far, all the results, everything that we have done, just so we can see if you're moving in the right direction. And this is done with the client. Then moving on to the next section, this is the admin and client health. We have lots of different tasks here, but most of them are one-off tasks. First of all, we have the contract that is signed at the start of our agreement. Then we have for the invoices, which are on a monthly basis. Then we create a Viber or a WhatsApp group with the client to make sure that our communication is on point. We create a Google Drive folder with the client. Then we also send a personalized video to the client to thank them for our new partnership. I really believe that especially if you haven't been able to meet with the client or all the team hasn't been able to meet with the client, then it's good to send a personalized video. People feel that and people understand that as a better customer service. There is no point in you acting like you're some kind of a big shot, especially if you're not, especially if you're just growing your business. Now is the time, especially when you have the free time, to provide as much value and to provide the best customer service that you can to your clients. Then we also create a client profile. This is an internal document that we have that contains all the information about the client, or the most important information about the client. And that is done because the moment we onboard a new team member, we want them to be able to go to the client profile, check all the information, and then make a better picture about the client as soon as possible. Then we also fill out the overview page. I'm going to show it to you in a bit. This is the overview page here in Asana. Then we set up an onboarding call to set up everything. This is especially in the beginning, and we do that to fill out the client profile, and we also get all the access for their ads. Now, the ads access, we do it currently manually. We have been able to do it pretty fast in the last couple of client onboardings, which is great. I'm really happy for that. But there are also tools that can help with that to make sure that you get the access immediately. So we're also going to be looking into that. Then we also have a first month strategy call. This is just to show to the client that we are on top of it and we have created a strategy and we want them to know what exactly the strategy will be. We set up a report and analytics, and we also create a client health scorecard. This is related to the business review meeting here. So prepare for 3-month business review meeting. It's related because we make sure we're keeping track of the client health every month. And the client health could be, were there any escalations? Did we have everything on point? Are they getting the results that they're expecting? Are we matching the goals that they have set? And basically, are we over delivering and under promising? And then we also have a done section here. Usually it's not really mandatory for you. You can just keep the tasks completed, but it just becomes way too cluttered. And when you have the done section here, you can just move them to the done section, and then you can be checking out tasks later. Let's say you remember about a task from 3 weeks ago, you can just go to the done section here and just review over all of them and just find the one that you would like. And that's it about the list section here. You can also use the bot section just like this, if that is better to you, but I don't think that this is very clear. At least when we have discussed it with our team, we don't really like this kind of view. You could also be doing the calendar one, as I have shown here. Let me just add it so I can show it to you. You can do it as a calendar like this. You can do it in a monthly view. But again, I don't think that this is the most clear way to be managing all the different tasks, so we use a list. Now, as I said, we also use the overview page, and this one is pretty straightforward. We add what is the service or the product of the client. We add a link to the ideal customer profile that they have. We also add what is the client goal. This is usually done in the beginning, then we can also edit it once they have changed their goals. And we also make sure we know exactly what the sales process is. Since we're working with service-based businesses mostly, we need to know what exactly is their sales process. Do they go immediately after a lead fills out the form? Do they have a discovery call? Do they have a second offer call, or do they just immediately sell them? We need to know the exact sales process, because we are also an agency that is helping with the sales part as well. We're not only handing off the leads and hoping for the best. We're actually integrating ourselves with the sales process of our partners, so we can make sure we have a better impact on the business. Now we also have a website link here, and we also have a Google Drive folder link. Just like I said, every client gets their own Google Drive folder. We use that to gather all the different raw materials such as photos and images and videos. And we use that to create all of our different designs and all of our different creatives. Then we also have project roles here. We add the different members from our team. And in key resources here, we just add the offer that the client has accepted. And that's how I manage my tasks for each different client. And that's how we manage it as a team as well. Now, there are many different tools that you can use similar to Asana, but I have gotten used to it right now, and I don't think that I will be switching soon. If there is another tool that you would like me to review from the ones that I have mentioned here, or if you'd like me to go over a specific part of the process that I have went over right here in Asana, then please make sure to leave a comment below. I will respond to it, and I'll also make a video about it. Thank you so much, and talk to you in the next episode.